Our seventh grade teacher told us that he had evidence of like supernatural.
Dude, that was dope. Okay, do you want me to tell the story? Okay, do you want me to tell the story, or you tell the story?
So I'll tell the beginning part, and you can tell the later part. But
okay,
he basically in middle school, 7th grade, he told us that he had this crazy story, but he couldn't tell us because we were too young. And so he was like, if you come back to me when you graduate high school and I'll tell you the story. And then Chuku and I, after we graduated from high school, we visited him and he told us the story. But yeah.
No way.
Okay. This is
that was years in waiting.
This is scarier to me than a movie because this is like someone's real life experience, and I think that's scariest to me when it's based on a real
This
story.
could be a movie.
Wait, really quick, where was he from? Where's he from?
This was in Townsend. So
I know, but like, where did he? Was this like an American horror story, or like where did this originate?
Yeah, it happened in America.
Oh, okay.
So what happened was this, right? So we come back to him, and then for a second he didn't understand it. Like he was like, "What are you guys talking about?" Then he talked about it, and then he's like, "All right, guys, I'm gonna have to come later." And we were wondering like, why do we have to come later? Like he said he was gonna tell us right when we're 18, or right? So eventually, what ends up happening is. He gives us a message, whatever. I think email. I don't remember. I think it was email. And then he said, "Okay, guys, I have the information." I'm like, "Why does he have information?" So then we come in. He comes in the story, and basically the gist of the whole story was that a time when he was teaching, where there was this woman who I guess was warning him about certain things. Like she warned him. She made these weird predictions about, I think Monica Lewinsky, the Clinton thing, like that he was going to cheat on a girl like that. Something like that. He warned him about that, and then
predictions about presidents.
Yeah, prediction about that the president was going to cheat at the time. But another thing that she did, which was crazy, and this is the thing that got to us, was that one, it showed us a picture of like it's like a TV screen, but you see somebody like almost like a ghost like screaming out, like it looked like it was like asking for help. So you had like a picture of that.
The Ring.
I don't know how to describe it.
This is giving me goosebumps.
He had like a picture of like a ghost.
I'm sorry, Christine.
Basically.
I feel you. I don't want to hear this right now.
but it was like a picture of a ghost, and so he said that he like had people analyze it that it wasn't tampered with, and so it was basically you could see like a face in the TV screen in the background.
What is the origin of the picture? Did he take it himself, or was this something he found online?
So he told it because the woman, I think it came from the woman, right?
Yeah, it came from the woman, if I'm correct.
So this woman basically was like telling him about all this stuff, and in the middle of the conversation, she like goes into a trance and levitates off the ground.
Exactly. She literally was levitating. That's what he said. That was the crazier part.
That's what he told us.
He literally said, and he was like, "I'm not lying to you guys. I did not deluge. I don't do drugs. None of that." She was just.
I'm gonna put spooky music. All right, I'm gonna put spooky music.
Oh my god!
Time.
Christine, what is that behind you?
In the edit.
So this woman levitates.
I'm legit. Okay, I'm sitting on the floor, and there's a space underneath my couch because my couch has legs, and I'm legit thinking in the back of my mind, nothing better touch me from this space right now.
Christine, don't turn around.
This woman,
don't turn around, but just leave the room. Trust me.
Don't try to scare her.
Leave the room.
I hate you guys so much.
This woman levitates off the ground and rotates around, and then like comes back down. This is what he told us.
No, he's not joking with us. I don't feel like.
What'd she do after? Was she like, "Oh,
well,
did she like not know what happened?"
Show me the video, or it didn't happen.
Okay, no, this isn't fake news. All right. So anyway, but I think if I'm correct, I think she did that. I'm pretty sure she gave the picture before she did that, or was it after? But all I remember was she gave him the picture, and that picture had that little ghosting that we explained it. But even the weirdest part about the story was that sometimes kids will ask for they would ask for what he's talking about because he needs the picture to explain the story, and he couldn't give it to him. And it's been a long time. Like sometimes he'll give it to students, but other students wouldn't get it. And he even said it was a long time before he found the picture, and then we asked. That was one of the few times in within years he was able to find that picture. So it was like we were like, I don't want to say chosen ones or whatever, but we were like one of the few people.
And our 7th grade class was literally the last class that he even told about it. Like, he stopped telling kids about that after our 7th grade class.
You guys,
yeah, because he said crazy things happen. Because he said crazy things would happen afterwards.
The TV chose you guys. Just saying.
Who knows,
I
man?
have a TV right next to me right now, and I'm not staring at it.
It was
I'm not
crazy.
gonna lie.
Like, even before he started telling us, he was like, do you guys, like, what are your thoughts on, like, demonic stuff? And, like, do you believe that those things are real? We talked to him about, it was interesting.
It was crazy. We gave him our supernatural answer. We're like, yeah, we're used to these ghosts and stuff, you know.
Hey, it could be possible. This scares me more than a movie. Like, one of my friends, she was in the like medical field, or she was trying to go to college to be like in the medical field, and she visited like relatives in Africa, and she stayed there for a long time. And she said, and I still haven't heard this story from her because I feel like I'm too scared to hear it, but she said she saw stuff that was unexplainable. And when she came back from Africa, she changed majors to be a religious studies major so she could get answers, because she was like freaked out by what she saw. And I still haven't heard the stories from her because like I don't want to hear them.
Literally,
but
like,
but
talk to people from Africa. Like, our parents have stories. Like my parents from Africa have stories.
I was gonna say, I think we're all children of immigrants in one way or another, or at least for one parent. Yeah. And like, my mom's from the Philippines, and she would like tell me stuff all the time, and it's like, I don't know, she's okay, so I know, like, you know, on some level, like, we're safe.
So,
and like, I wouldn't, if I knew weird stuff was going on, I would like avoid it. I would avoid that lady if I like she was telling me some freaky stuff. So
this is why I don't mess with Ouija boards.
I don't either.
I don't mess with that stuff.
So
I think it's interesting to see in a fictional sense. Yeah.
Neither.
No. Wait, Christine, you've done it? Is that why you're so scared? Because the time is ticking before something.
It was a self-made one years ago, like years.
Okay, let's just pray that it wasn't like a correct.
It didn't work. It didn't work. I used a quarter.
Oh, you're good.
A little whatever thing, okay?
Yeah,
but
you weren't supposed to use a quarter.
My friends have messed with it, and it's pretty scary. And I also have a theory about like why I feel like immigrant families have more stories than Americans do.
Because ghosts hate America. That's why. No.
Okay, America. But I think it's because like the land is so old.
Yeah.
Like Asia, whatever it is.
The
like
connection to the ancestors is stronger.
Yeah, exactly. And America's so young.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're ignoring the fact. You're ignoring the fact that, you know, there were people on the lands before it was colonized.
Exactly.
I agree. I think there's probably paranormal activity on like indigenous people like lands and lands where there's first people. I think there's also a lot of paranormal activity in like the South, like in Louisiana, or like honestly, where there was all the history down there with Santeria.
My parents have always told me like these random stories about like in Asia. Told me to stay away from like certain people in Thailand for some reason, because like I think that's a hot spot for like monsters and like gypsies or people that hypnotize you to do. So, like they kept telling me stories of people going to visit Thailand and like disappearing and never coming back. And I'm like, you knew these people? And they're like, it was a friend of a friend of a friend or something. I'm like, okay. I don't know if I mean, I was a kid at the time, so I believed them. And like, actually, a couple years back when I visited Japan, my friends went to Thailand afterwards. I stayed in Japan because of those stories. I didn't want to go to Thailand. And then I went to Korea afterwards to meet up with them again. But yeah.
You know what's even crazier? I was gonna say, because this kind of reminds me of a story back in when I was in college, because people were also talking about how they're in their rooms, because when I was dorming there was like haunted stuff going on. Like I remember one time like I think it was like in my room or like in my room, whatever. Like there was like we heard like random knocking, and we were like, like, did you knock? And nobody was knocking, stuff like that. But another room, and this was like with somebody I was like involved with at the time. I don't know if they did magical stuff, because they were, to be honest, they were pretty weird kids, and they were like trying to get drugged up and stuff like that. So part of me thinks they're a little bit out there. But on the other hand, they noticed that like sometimes they'll hear like, again, they'll hear random knocking, they'll hear random screeching, And then when it will, like, sometimes the lights will randomly flicker and be weird like that, and then they will hear like weird noises. And it was just like, and it was crazy because like one of the roommates there, apparently she was like a mage, which I thought was funny. I was like, well, you got mages here? That's so dope. So she was like a mage, and she was trying to like talk to the what's it called? She was trying to talk to the paranormal. And the reason why one of my boys who was dating her at the time believes this was because one time he gave her like a really bad hickey, and she just like it recovered within one day. Like it didn't recover. Like it was like,
were you guys
really
dating
bad,
like a coven of witches? Like what? The fuck? Like,
I don't know. I don't know why he was dating some witch, but hey, man. I mean, I don't know. Maybe.
Dude, I do think there's stuff. Yeah, I do think there's stuff that's unexplainable, and I think there are. Like, you know, like we can't see radio waves and like other dimensions, but I think like maybe if not ghosts or like demonic stuff, maybe there's like some interdimensional stuff that like we
there's some things
to be
that
like
science
ghosts
cannot
too.
explain.
Yeah, and I think there are people that are sensitive to like those things too, where like some people can perceive them and sense them and other people can't. I don't know what. You know how they say like dogs and or like animals and like children that because they're really pure, they're like more sensitive to that stuff too. Like I believe that, you know.
Maybe I okay. To your statement, there are some things that science can't explain. It's true right now in terms of like what the science we currently have, but I do believe if you can perceive it, if you're a human being and you're perceiving something, then you can create an instrument to perceive the same thing. So eventual science. We'll be able to like detect something if we can. You know, like we're just mere human beings. Right. If an animal can detect it as well, then that means an instrument that we create can also detect it eventually.
Maybe. Well,
that's just my logical mind saying that.
Because there's Ghost Adventures and they have little doohickeys that might like they'll be like, oh, this measures electromagnetic discharge from the air.
Yeah.
Could be a ghost.
Phasmophobia.
Science is limited to only analyzing the material world, right? And so there are things that exist outside of the material world that you
not necessarily
wouldn't be able to explain with science. So like you know, love and affection is the typical thing. It's like you can't really measure that type of stuff, but it's real and like we feel it and we perceive it at the same time.
I like that analogy.
I agree with that to a certain extent because like, you know, you can explain it using like chemicals and the chemistry of our bodies and like just what we release in that sense. But also like when you say material stuff, science can detect so much more than that, right? Like you guys talked about radio waves, gamma waves, stuff like that, that we cannot detect at all as human beings, but with instruments we can.
Like radiation.
Yeah, and even theoretically with math, we've predicted like certain patterns out there that exist in the universe before even discovering them. So it's sort of like theoretically there's ways to discover things or like figure things out without even like knowing it or materially.
I agree with the both of you guys. I think you can't measure like love, but it is also like a concept. So
yeah, exactly. It's because love can be taken. What is love can be defined many different ways too.
And who knows what avenues will go down with science before we can like detect things like that. I mean, look at Interstellar, like that whole movie, like it's basically like a ghost story, but like it's under the guise of being like scientific, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it's because I studied physics in college, so I'm very like. I believe physics can do so much in terms of understanding the world. So it's like it's hard for me to admit or hard for me to submit that, you know, there are things that we can't explain. I believe like eventually we'll be able to explain like a crap ton of stuff.
I mean,
that'd be cool.
Was gonna say, I think personally for me, my believing when it comes to stuff like that, I think it's important as a human. Like, it's like, I don't even want to, I guess might bring a different topic, but let's not get too much into this other topic. It's like the idea of like free will, right? Like, I think whether it's true or not, it's good to have the mindset that you do have it. Just like whether it's true or not, whether we can explain things, it's a better mindset to come from the mindset that you can explain stuff than to not, because you're only limiting what you can do. And I think that's a good, healthy mindset. So that's where I come from that.
Well, have you guys yourself experienced something
I was about to ask that.
thought is paranormal. Because
I was about to ask that.
I have.
You have? Oh, crap.
The girl who played with the magical witchy stuff experiences.
Yeah. But have you guys experienced anything?
No, I've never played with a Ouija board. I'm kidding.
No, I've had so there was this one time when I had a very weird dream, and in my dream I was in my room, but I was above my body, and I was looking down at my body.
So an out-of-body experience.
Yeah. So
was it? Could you classify it as sleep paralysis?
I was gonna get into that actually.
I've had sleep paralysis.
I've had sleep paralysis.
It
wasn't that. I've had sleep paralysis. It wasn't that. But it was so I was looking at my body, and I heard my parents screaming, and
sorry,
they opened the door. No. But it was weird because I was it was the middle of the night, and then they opened the door, and they shook me awake, and then I was awake all of a sudden, and they were in my room, so I was seeing what was going on from a top-down perspective in my room, and then
but why were they screaming?
I don't know. I still don't know.
I think
they just woke you up.
They never explained
in the middle
it?
of the night. They didn't explain it.
What?
Wait,
Can you ask them?
Did they admit that they were screaming?
Yeah, well,
they scream. Trust me. He knows what I mean. They're screaming.
I think, this is another topic completely, but I do think that when we're asleep, there's not that much that we know about dreams yet, and I do think maybe there are doors of our minds that we have access to when we're in that state between wakefulness and unconsciousness. And I
agree too.
I do want to say to some degree you were because sleep paralysis it's not always going to be the same experience every time. It's not you feel you're trapped in your body. Sometimes you perceive what you're seeing and feeling as maybe you're looking at yourself, or maybe you're I don't know, hearing. Because I know one time I had sleep paralysis, and I for sure thought that I heard hissing in my room, really, really loud hissing, almost to the point where it was drowning everything in my mind and everything out. But I woke up and it was the sprinklers outside. So I think to some degree there are things that are real, but also you perceive them a little differently when you're in that state of wakefulness and unconscious.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Okay, but going back, can you ask your parents why they were screaming?
They're probably not gonna remember.
Get these answers, OC.
They might not remember it.
They probably were I just wanted you to get the water. That's what they probably wanted.
You probably were just sleeping in a little too late, and they're just oh, say, what are you still doing asleep?
No, I went to sleep immediately. It was 3 a.m. It was 2 or 3 a.m. It was the middle of the night.
Do you know if
what do you think happened?
I don't even know. I just went back to sleep afterwards.
You think they just saved you or something?
Maybe I don't know. Maybe I was my spirit was floating away, and they sensed it, and they're no.
Your parents are superheroes.
Maybe.
Well, I've had sleep paralysis a lot of times actually. Recently, the past few years, I haven't had it, and I would always call it scissor lock. It's I guess a different name, a less scientific name for it. And there was a few times where I had it where it was really freaky. And I know a lot of people are gonna be oh, it's science, blah blah blah, nothing happened, nothing paranormal, blah blah.
My science can explain it. I'm just kidding.
Yes, Scott. Just kidding.
Stop.
Hey.
But there was one time that I had it, and if you guys know, for those of you who don't know what sleep paralysis is, you kind of you're awake in your body, but you can't move your body. And the only thing for me that I could move was my eyes. So one of the times that I had it, I was in my room. This was in my old house, which was built relatively new too. I think it was a 2000 house, right? So there isn't really history in that house. But I had sleep paralysis. I woke up in the middle of the night, and all of a sudden I hear this loud chanting outside of my room. And I grew up in a Buddhist family, so it was Buddhist chanting. And I was freaking the fuck out because I couldn't do anything. I was literally just stuck in my bed listening to this in the middle of the night, and I couldn't reach for my phone, and like I'm just trying to wake myself up. It was like Kill Bill, the very like first 5 minutes where she was trying to move her toes. That was me. So I finally was able to wake up, and I called my mom, because she was in the next room, and I was like, Mom, what is that chanting? Who's chanting? Because after I woke up, it was still going on. And she came out of her room, and she looked for what it was, and it was this like Buddhist like little statue prayer thing that was chanting, and it had music, but the thing about it was that it was broken. Like it couldn't like chant anymore. And she's like, what the hell? Like, how is this making any noise? Like, this was broken before. And that was one of the things where I was just like, what the fuck? I'm not fucking with anything paranormal ever again. But another time was when I woke up.
Wait, did you discover how it like functioned?
We had no idea. I was like, we have to throw that away.
Was it
because
was it like plug-in, or was it battery?
No, it's battery operated. There were no batteries in it.
What?
So, yeah, exactly. So I'm like, what the hell?
What? It's freaking freaky.
I know. And there's a lot of theories about why scissor lock happens or something, but one of the ones.
Okay, wait, hold on. Your mom heard it too. Your mom heard it chanting.
Yeah, she heard it too.
Okay, so it's not just you. Okay, because I can sort of like
she came out and turned it off.
Okay. Wow.
And it wasn't even on.
Yeah, that's unexplainable.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes things just can't be explained.
But somehow an electric current got in there.
So one of the theories is that like demons or whatever, they attack you because you're not devout or you're not religious, or maybe you're too religious and they like attack you. I don't know. But I was one of the people that wasn't religious. Yeah. And one of the times I had scissor lock, like music was playing from my phone when I hadn't even put like music on when I woke up. So I was just freaked out altogether.
Yeah, I mean,
maybe I was just saying, like, maybe like, do you sleepwalk or anything? Does anyone sleepwalk?
No.
Thank God.
Once.
Oh, really?
Christine, do you sleep on your back a lot?
I sleep on my side. I think back then I slept on my back.
Yeah, I know, like, it's really scary, sleep paralysis. I did a lot of research trying to, like, not get it ever again. But since I started kind of, like, I've become exclusively like a side sleeper. I haven't had it, maybe, like, once almost, but I didn't. So that kind of, that helps a lot. But you also seem like you have probably a healthier sleep schedule. Because, like, I got it a lot when I was going to school, and I wasn't really, like, sleeping on a schedule. And I slept on my back a lot, and that's when I would get it.
I don't think I've ever gotten it in college, but I get it like pretty often in my house.
Oh, you have it?
Interesting.
Dang.
Oh yeah, I get it like once every 3 months. It's a regular.
Have any of you not had it?
I feel like I haven't. I don't remember.
You haven't had it?
I've never. I don't feel like I experienced it in my life.
You know why? It's because Chuku will just laugh.
No, it's not that. To be fair, I have a hard time sleeping on my back. To be fair.
No,
it's scary.
I think you get used to it. Like, cause whenever I get it, it's usually because I think I have like thoughts in my mind that are like kind of fearful, or at least like I might even get it tonight, honestly. But
let us know.
Yeah. But basically, I've had it a lot, like so often that it seems normal. And whenever I get it, I'm like, okay, I can't move. Let's try to move. That's literally the first thing I do. I try to move. And I'm like fighting with it, like trying to move my arm or something.
Do you sleep on your back a lot? It's a struggle.
Yeah, I sleep on my back.
Try sleeping on your side a little more. It might help because I used to sleep on my back like all the time. It's really like I don't know, it's comfortable. It's good for your back too. But try sleeping on your side, or like have you ever lucid dreamed?
Honestly,
feel like
I don't.
Those are related. Have you ever lucid dreamed?
I wish.
Oh yeah, I've had 55 lucid dreams.
Oh, do you document your lucid dreams?
so many documents.
That's cool. Yeah. No, do you have a totem?
That's dope. No, not the.
I tried having a totem at one point, but it's far easier for me to just like get into a lucid dream by just recognizing that it's a dream.
I used to get that when I used to get sleep paralysis a lot. And I even accidentally, I I don't know if you guys know what a totem is, but like for people that practice lucid dreaming, it's like an object that you keep on you when you sleep, and then when you look at it and you notice there's something strange about it, you know you're lucid dreaming.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, when I was like getting a lot of sleep paralysis, I also lucid dreamed a lot, and I also inadvertently made my cell phone a totem, because I remember one time I was lucid dreaming and I like looked at my phone, and I wasn't looking at my phone, I was looking straight through to my hand, and I was like, okay, I'm lucid dreaming, and I proceeded to like dream after that. But I like also recognized like, okay, I made my phone a totem accidentally. But that was something kind of fun.
That's cool.
Yeah, I don't consider I don't consider like sleep related things supernatural or paranormal, because like anytime because I've had a lot of nightmares before, also related to lucid dreaming or sleep paralysis. So anytime I do, I just feel like, you know, I can't count that as paranormal. It's just my head, you know. Like there is an explanation. It's me. I'm imagining everything, you know. But like I'm
kind of like with you about all this lucid dreaming stuff. I do think it's like mental. But also, like, it could be, like, it's still interesting to me because it could be, like, doorways in your mind that you have access to when you're, when you are awake that you don't have access to, you know?
Yeah, but to Christine's, like, battery thing, that is paranormal.
It could have been a mix of the two.
I have no idea, but I prefer to bury that memory away.
Sorry.
And not really think about it, but to this day, I still, like, remember it. But to be honest, I think most of this also happens when we're young because we have such a young mind.
You're purer.
Because I remember in elementary school, like, me and my friends would just tell scary stories, like, all the time. And I don't know, like, it would freak me out. But also, like, these stuff happened to me while I was young, too. And one of my friends, I don't know if, like, her story is true or not, but she liked to contact ghosts. Or contact, like, whatever it may be. And she would have, like, I could tell you how she did it. But it was, like, her and someone else. I don't know what it is. But they would put a pencil in between their hand. And, like, sort of like a cup motion, right? Between her and this person's hand. And they would ask, like, are you here? Or something like that. And then it would write. But they would support, like, kind of that pencil. And it got to the point where she did, like, something happened to her and she never did it again.
Yeah.
Because, like something traumatic happened to her inside her own home.
Stop.
Oh my gosh. Are you okay?
Yeah, bro. Yeah, that was random.
Okay.
That was so
Happy
random.
Halloween. Where's Aussie?
Jesus. That was interesting.
Okay, well,
you scared me.
For you listeners, Christine just jumped so violently right now.
I was like, Jesus. Like, that was a really good, like, I didn't expect that
We're
at all
freaking ourselves
whatsoever.
out. Like, this needs to end.
Yeah, we are freaking ourselves out.
My boyfriend just opened
so
the
much.
door to the
But this
room.
hey, take this as a lesson, listeners. Like, don't mess with this kind
Don't
of stuff
fuck with
you
that
don't
shit,
know.
okay?
No, really,
Exactly.
Ouija boards, talking boards, games like this. Basically, what's happening is you're opening a door to whatever may come through. You don't know if it's good or bad,
Yeah.
and if you don't do things properly, you might never close the door, and you could get terrorized.
Yeah, and you don't know who you're inviting.
Yeah.
But happy Halloween!
I will hold my opinions. But like, yeah, I mean, it's better to
Let's
be safe
just end
than
the
sorry.
conversation now. I'm done with scary stuff.
Yeah, okay.
As I'm about to like
Well, I hope
watch
you-
a scary movie or something right now.
Yeah, hope you guys liked that Hangout episode. It was definitely a spooky one. I'll probably theme it Halloween Hangout. Yeah, let us know your scary stories in the comments. Bye.
Happy spooky
All right,
season.
Bye. Peace. Hopefully I see you guys in the next session.
If we don't, we'll know what happened.
What? No.
Bye.